So take it as it resonates. Sorry, I just had a little bit of a glitch with my phone here earlier. Anyway, again, just en route. So I just do these when I can. Don't always have a lot of time, guys. So Happy New Year. And this is a reading, again, just current energy tarot for Libra. So what I see here is we are looking at the Justice. So this is currently sort of where things are headed. I did actually pull them with clarifying cards. So really what you're looking at right now is the main card out, which is anything that is major arcana basically speaks to the bigger impactful cards. So what I'm seeing here is things are being balanced out for you. So you may not exactly feel that currently at this moment, but there definitely is something here that shows that things are starting to move ahead in your direction. So things are being rebalanced. It's not delayed. Justice just doesn't feel kind in the moment that things are exposing and correcting and uncomfortable. So, but it does restore fairness overall over time. So the truths are resurfacing, cycles are being closed correctly, and karma is kind of being neutralized. All of that is where things are taking place. This is also Libra energy, so it also indicates you're in that space of balance after long imbalance, because that's what the scales of justice are, and Libra, Gemini, Aquarius may be relevant for you as well. Now, following that is the Knight of Wands, a card of action, entrepreneurial for some, certainly a sudden change or an impulse to act or move or speak or shift into something that's new. And following that is the Ten of Wands. So I feel with that combination, the energy seems to come in bursts. It could be, bursts of energy and then exhaustion. But overall, I do feel like this is not chaos, it's momentum without the rest period yet. So overall, I do feel like that's where you're headed, because the Ten of Wands tells me this is the end of the cycle. This is where it doesn't go any further than the Ten of Wands. So that labor-intensive period, that physicality, this is really where you carry too much for too long, all of that emotional, financial, psychological exhaustion or overload. But overall, it does feel like whatever you've done that's doing more of your share, it feels like that's why everything may feel negative in this cycle of rebalancing. But you're at the end of what you have to carry. So then you're going to start to feel, this was actually the major arcana below, or in the next set of cards, and that's the Nine of Cups. So this does tell me that, this is real. It's not fake hope. This is actual emotional satisfaction. It's relief, and it's certainly a wish fulfilled. So sometime whenever you find this, you're going to be moving into that space, because the Nine of Cups comes after you've put something down, and what you put down was the Ten of Wands. You've decided to kind of focus more so on you and your energy and where things are headed. So this is more about, like I said, that energy of, the joy may not manifest right this second, because again, it's sitting on top of a card of burnout. So that means you have to kind of release that before you can expand it. So wherever you sit in that energy, you're in the energy of it. Energy is always changeable, just so you know. But certainly whenever you find this is where I'm headed with it. Now, following the Nine of Cups is the Devil. So it definitely is a release of some sort. It does explain why the joy keeps kind of slipping away, because things are being rebalanced. And that does take a little bit of time, because your main card out was the Justice. So the Devil explains why the joy is kind of slipping away here, because there's still attachments, there's still cycles of stress, fear, guilt, some kind of obligation, or some sense of feeling trapped by your circumstances or by people. Now, the King of Wands, this one is more like there's an over-identification with, and hi, sorry, Porter. Porterman. Yeah. So, and then with King of Wands, like I said, this is where you're becoming again. So this is having a vision, because you've gone from, with that Devil energy, which is also Capricorn, may be relevant here as well, but it does indicate more of a survival mode, pressure, and enduring kind of quality. Whereas the King of Wands tells me you're back to becoming you again. There's a sense of a vision. There's more sense of creative leadership or creative ideas, things starting to circulate, confidence returning. All of that goes with this card. But I certainly would say that the King of Wands can't really, come into effect unless the Devil is dealt with, that Devil energy. So, and this was, again, the main card out. And you also had the 9 and the 10 of Wands. So a lot of Wands energy here, which tells me this is fire, mastery, right? Leo, Aries is also relevant here, but it does indicate that it can't emerge while the Devil is still dictating the pace of things. So you have to release something. You have to kind of let it go. Just let it go, whatever it is that's kind of standing in the way of your objective. So when we get to, but there's still lots of action cards, lots of momentum, lots of energy. And again, lots of real mature energy here and lots of nines and tens and end cards. So the Page of Wands was out there as well, which is more of an immature energy. But again, there's so many cards. So that could be something dealing with a younger person or dealing with communication. But what I see here, first off here, like I said, the Nine of Wands, you've resisted, kind of collapsing into, that whatever you've been juggling, but you're tired, you're guarded, you're still standing, wounded, not defeated, but you're closer to the end of this than you think, because the Ten of Wands is here, the Nine of Wands is here, and hello there. Sorry, Tina? Sorry, I was trying to read the name there, but hi, Tina. Thanks, guys, for being there. But what I see here is Page of Wands. So this tells me what's coming in is a spark. There's a new idea. There's a message, some kind of opportunity or something here about what's keeping you still sparked or alive or invested in something. And I say that because the Fool is the card that's following. So you're definitely in that space of a reset, something clean slate, new timeline, stepping forward into something that's going to be maybe carrying a residual of the past, but it's not reckless energy. This is more calculated, more liberation is what I see here, because there's so many wands. Now, we also get to the Three of Coins. So this is, and I want to say the Fool is that Uranus energy, which is like the sudden freedom and there's a new path. So this one is where you're getting some kind of, this is crucial because this is where you get assistance. Help is coming here. There is a collaboration that helps to improve things. Whatever your situation is, you're not meant to do it alone anymore. This can be a person, a partnership. It can be a professional alignment. But whoever this is, it's actually somebody that's going to pull their weight in a situation. And hello there. Sorry, I was trying to read the name. Alec. Thanks for joining, guys. But what I see here overall is, even though there's so many cards of positivity, below that was the Ace of Coins, a new start, something more solid, something that's, going to help gain that freedom, because it is grounded, it is money. It will allow you to rest and recuperate with the Four of Swords. And I do feel like it's not just liberating, but it's really going to change things for you, change it up. Because I feel like you're at a turning point with that Justice card. So it does tell me that even though you're exhausted, and that's why it still feels like punishment, because you're in the energy, but it hasn't made the full change yet. It's more that the joy isn't imaginary, it's just blocked by load bearing of stress, because you're over identifying with the stress. And so it's difficult to see that there are actual changes taking place. So I would say, what is coming more in the near term is like a small but meaningful opportunity because of that Page of Wands energy. Sorry guys, one sec here. It's just a little further back there. But also, again, there's emotional relief because of that Nine of Cups energy here as well. So it is a reset. It's a fresh path. That's what the Fool was. You're releasing something here with the Devil. You've got more shared effort with that Three of Pentacles, and it certainly does speak to personal power, because that's what the King of Wands is, feeling a lot more confident. Sorry, that was a little further over. Feeling a lot more confident about the path that you're about to embark on. So overall, I definitely feel, your personal power is returning here. So again, there's a shared effort that is helping you to, feel more in that survival mode, and which will allow you to have more choices, so that you just stop carrying all that burden of what's draining you. So the universe, so to speak, is not pushing you with negative things. Again, it is pushing negative things off of you, and that hurts. So that is the space you're in right now. You're being unburdened. And I do definitely feel like, this is a really good space, but it's just after the release. So you're not imagining that you're just tired, but I feel like you're not quite there in realizing what is coming in for you. But either way, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm just looking at I'll answer one card on this one before I head out to the next read. Okay, this is for Trans Essentials. Okay, what question did you have? Just because I always have low power on my phone here, but I'll see what I can do. What is coming in for what's coming in for Trans Essentials? What's coming in for Trans Essentials? in the next, let's say, in the month of January? What's coming in for trans essentials in the month of January? What is coming in for month of January for trans essentials, career, money, finance, relationships? Six of Swords fell out. Five of Cups was in reverse. Clarify the Five of Cups with Queen of Cups. And what's the Six of Swords exiting? The Eight of Coins, Emperor, Five of Swords, clarified by Queen of Swords. Bottom of deck, Page of Coins. And summary of all of this. Okay, so what I see here is, and this is a reading that is going out to Trans Essentials. It's just a quick little synopsis read. So what I'm going to say here is this seems to be kind of a mix of things, but it definitely feels like there is something of a burden on you right now, because the Six of Swords is the card that actually fell out. Sorry, and I should just pull that back out here because that was really the card that fell out. So the Six of Swords is the one that just sort of inadvertently fell out. So it feels like you're in a transition this month. You're moving away from stress, confusion, an emotional turbulent time. I definitely feel like you are still choosing something calmer, even if it's not exciting, but it's still something that is kind of a pullback kind of energy. Now, there is something here that applies to business decisions or emotional investment, or maybe even work here as well. But I feel like there's something about clear thinking or distancing yourself from emotional noise. Because I see that there's two emotional cards out here, Queen of Cups, Five of Cups. This is a disappointment. I feel like you have to stop focusing on what didn't work. And this is kind of, a sense of feeling grief or regret or disappointment. And so there's some kind of emotional recovery that's going on for you in this month for January. And I feel like you're taking that initiative to stop it actually by saying, I'm not going to bleed into this energy of the past anymore. I'm going to go forward. So it's a healing energy is what I'm getting for you in this next period, like in January. I want to say with the Queen of Cups that came out there, especially with the Queen of Swords, could be dealing with, again, a Libra energy. Water sign as well is prevalent, but I feel like this is compassion. It's emotional maturity that's returning. It's something here about without self-sacrificing. So I feel like there is a lot of sensitivity, but you're not collapsing into it. There is something of you're responding to the situation versus reacting. In terms of business, I feel like you've got better emotional regulation in a situation. I might ask one more bit on the money part for you on that. But there is some kind of water mastery. So whether this is mastery over Cancer, Pisces, emotional intelligence, something becomes an asset for you around that. But what's exciting here is the Eight of Coins. Now, I would say there's a lot of fives, so there's a lot of shifting going on here. Six of Swords, Five of Swords. These are all cards of shifting, dealing with more along the lines of the Five of Cups, your emotions, and I think harsh words or battles, some kind of conflict has been going on for you around you. But the work situation could even be that there's a lot of overworking, no immediate return, doing everything yourself. And it feels like January shifts away from the work harder to work smarter, something like that, because the Emperor tells me things are going, you're holding it all together, but things are coming back into your control. But you may have been forcing outcomes or overstructuring something, carrying too many of the responsibilities yourself, that kind of thing. Aries energy coming through, but it's like leadership fatigue. Especially because it's around the fives there. But it feels like you feel you need to win or defend a position. And it's been some kind of toxic dynamic there. And I don't know if that's internal, external, or both. But I feel like you're done with the battles and you're trying to look for some kind of exit strategy. There is something here about finding some clear boundaries, honest communication, all of that. And I feel like you just have to do the emotional detachment as needed because you've got a lot going on emotionally and the conflict around you. So it's not clean cuts and it's not emotional ones. It's kind of mastering, how to choose peace over, proving a point here. So I feel like the real promise in January is that you have bottom of the deck page of coins. It's like a new financial seed, something that's kind of perking you up, that's got a new, small but tangible kind of opportunity that's coming in, something that you might be learning, especially when it's page of coins or a loan or something there. But this is usually my education card. But it definitely feels like it's not something sudden for wealth, but it definitely feels like it's real, growable, something that could be very sustainable because that's what coins are all about. And it does feel like learning in practical ways that will pay off for you. So Capricorn Taurus is here, so it's slow, but it's dependable. I want to say, again, we had Seven of Coins that falls below that as well. So I would say in terms of your finances, again, it's still small new opportunities or an income that might be seeded, you're still working on. But it's going to be an improved relationship with work and less burnout, more efficiency. So I would say January sets the foundation, not for a big payout or anything, but it's the groundwork before you prepare for something. So overall, strategic, letting go of the things that don't work in terms of methods, roles, expectations, anything that's draining your energy. I do feel like you've got a clearer sense of what stays, what goes. In terms of a relationship, I feel like you're in a period of recovery here. There's been something here that's been a bit of a hardship for you, and there's less disappointment or lingering because you've got healthier boundaries coming out here, more self-respect and how your energy is shared. So you're going to be a lot more careful about what you do with your energy, moving away from exhaustion or unnecessary conflict. You're choosing more of an emotional maturity in terms of the way that you move ahead. So you're planting a practical seed and then the next one and the next one, that kind of thing. You're not forcing the outcomes this month. It feels like you're quietly correcting the energy, is what I would say. So again, there's something about resetting, the operating system, so to speak, so that the growth doesn't destroy you by burning you out. I would say overall, just in one line, it would be something like stop fighting what drains you and start nurturing the things that grow you. But either way, I think you've got some really good energy here, but you're still in a bit of a healing phase. So hopefully that gave you some clarity. Anyway, that's what I have for you, Libra. Keep moving forward. It's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be. And again, Happy New Year. We'll see you in the next reading.